Hello, welcome to Latinx channel again. Today we're going to talk about custody, access, and maintenance of children. What is custody? What is access? When we say custody, there are some questions that come up. At what age can we give custody to the father of the child? Who can have access, and at what times can the person have access to the children? At what point can we deny a particular parent access or custody to the child in question? Who is supposed to pay maintenance? What amount should be paid as maintenance for the child? Can we order for a woman to also pay maintenance to the father? And then we'll talk about maintenance. When you are pregnant, are you supposed to be maintained? At what time are you supposed to stop maintaining a pregnant woman? And all of those questions. Let's just get straight to the point. We'll start from exactly when the pregnancy begins. The law says that when the woman is pregnant, the man is supposed to maintain the woman from the time of the pregnancy till 9 months after birth. Take note, this is maintenance of the woman from the time of pregnancy up to 9 months after birth. And then when the child is born, the man is also supposed to maintain the child from the period of birth to whenever the child is not in need of maintenance again. It means that if we are supposed to give an amount of maintenance, that maintenance is supposed to take care of the woman's pregnancy and then the woman herself. It means that when the woman gives birth, the man will have to maintain both the child and the mother for up to 9 months. And then after 9 months, the maintenance will be for the child alone. It means that if the court say you are supposed to pay 100 cedis for the woman from the day that she gave birth, and then 200 cedis for the child from day one, that means you're paying 300 cedis from the day one that the child was born. But then when it's 9 months, the court will release you of your responsibility of paying money to the woman and only just focus on maintaining your child only. There's another responsibility on the father to name the child. This has to be done in accordance with custom, and depending on your custom, it requires that some of your family members, key family members of the father and then the woman, is supposed to be there during the naming of the child. Because of course, in our custom, when you are naming the child, it is accepting the child into a particular family, and so the person has to be recognized by those key members so that they will know, there will be evidence to show that this person is part of the family of this man. All right. If both parents agree, that is when both families will be around and then everything will be fine. If either the mother or the father is unreasonably denying the child of their name or of their right to be named, the court can actually make an order for the child to be named in the courtroom in a particular date and time. And the mother is supposed to bring the child, or the father is supposed to bring himself and his key family members to do the naming in the courtroom. Note that if you don't do this, you are breaching the laws of Ghana. And you can even be imprisoned or fined for refusing to name your child. Now we'll go straight into custody. At what point can a father get custody of the child? The law has a lot of considerations that the court should look out for when they are determining who should have custody. The primary consideration is what will serve the best interest of the child. In law, we say that the best interest of the child is the primary consideration that every court or every tribunal, every person making a decision concerning the child should look out for. The court will have to say, oh, will this serve the best interest of the child first? It means that we don't care about you, the mother or the father, and what you think, and whether you have a fight with the man or you have a fight with the man's family. So far as the decision you are making does not go well with the best interest of the child, the court will not enforce it. And so take note that when you are going to the court for the court to assist you in any way, the reason why you are going to the court should not be because of your own selfish interests, but then the best interest of the child. I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, the law says that if the child is 7 years, then the father can come for the child. No, there's no law like that. Of course, as part of the factors that the court will consider in determining whether either of the parents should have custody of the child, age is a factor. Age is a factor. It means that the court will consider looking at this child's age. Will the child's best interest be served if the child is with the mother or the father? The courts and the law says that It is best for younger children to be with their mothers. But then, it doesn't mean that if the child is 1 month or 1 day old and the best interest of the child will not be served with the mother, the courts will refuse to take the child away from the mother. I've seen the courts give custody of children who are 2 months old or even 1 day old. The father or even the father's family or even the social welfare officer, because at that point it will not be the best interest of the child to be with the mother. And that is one of the reasons why when a mother is mentally challenged or has an impairment which would affect the child's well-being, the court is ready and willing to give that child to another person. And take note, custody can be given to the father, it can be given to the mother, it can be given to a grandparent or even anybody who is best fit to take care of the child. But then the law says that the parents or the biological parents are the primary people who should have custody of the child. And so it means that it will take something great which will not serve the best interest of the child before the court will say we are taking the child or the children away from their original parents. The court will also consider that it is good for children to live together. We do not desire that children should be living separately. Another consideration that the court will look out for is the independent view of the child. So the court will interview the child and find out their independent view. If the child has the capacity or ability to give an independent view as to who he or she wants to live with, the court will really consider that. And so it doesn't mean that you should go and tell the child that, oh, say you want to live with mama or dada, because if you know children, you will know that a child can say, oh, my mother said I should live with her, and that will go against you. Allow the children to freely give the reasons why they want to live with you or live with their father. There are several things that will affect a child which we cannot list in the law, and so any other relevant thing that you think it's important that the court should consider before granting custody or custody to a parent should be brought to the attention of the child. Maybe the child goes to the father does not allow the child to maybe read, the child is not assisted in her assignment, anything, maybe someone is abusing the child in the father or the mother's house, or the father is persistently abusing the child. Say all of that so that the court will have an idea what's happening on the ground. Take note, any other relevant factor. The relevant factor should let the courts know that this will be the best interest of the child. And so let's go straight into maintenance. Who has to pay maintenance? Can the woman be ordered to pay maintenance? Of course, when the court gives custody of the child to either of the parents, it means that the parent who doesn't have custody of the child should be contributing to the maintenance of the child. When you have custody, it means that the children live with you for a longer period. Then it means that the children are with the other parent for a longer period. That other parent spends more time, spends more money, spends a lot of resources in taking care of the child. The parent who is not having custody should contribute to the children's welfare. And that maintenance may include medical bills, school fees, feeding fees, or money that they spend at home, utility bills and all of that. What would the court consider in determining the amount? Is it a fixed amount for everybody? No, it's not a fixed amount for everybody. We will look at the income of the parents that you are bringing to the courts. If the person earns a particular amount and they have other responsibilities, the court will consider that. It doesn't mean that you have to bring unreasonable responsibilities. You have a primary responsibility to take care of your children, and so you should be mindful of that. I've seen a lot of people say, I have 10 children, I can't pay this amount. Be mindful of the number of children you are having, because you cannot use that as an excuse to say that you're going to pay 50 cedis a month for a child, because no, that may never be enough. There will be a reasonable amount, or every child can spend up to 200 cedis. We'll consider 200 cedis, but we'll not consider below that, because you cannot bring a child up and not think about their welfare. Yes, apart from the income of the parents, we'll look at whether the other parents has any impairment on their earning capacity. And so if you give birth with a mother who is in school, or who is underage, or who doesn't have any job, then you should consider that mother will be unable to contribute to the maintenance of the child, right? And then the court also consider the standard of living or the cost of living in the area where the child is. And so be mindful of the standard that you accustom the child to. Because if you take the child to a Montessori school or a school that requires a child to live in a particular standard, then you cannot say just because you are divorcing the mother or the father, now you are going to reduce the amount that you pay to the father in respect of maintenance. Please take note of that. I know there are lots of considerations that the court look out for in considering whether to give access or custody of the child, and then maintenance as well. If you have further questions, please comment below. Let me answer the questions in the comment box. I'll look at that in my next video as well. Let's learn together. Please share, subscribe, and let somebody see this so that we all learn together. Until we meet again, please have a very, very good time. And hey, take care of your child. It's your responsibility. They didn't ask to be brought here.